So I found another one in 2026 who actually believes that the Bible endorses chattel slavery. I'm going to let him tell you what he thinks.
Anyone who tells you that the Bible does not endorse chattel slavery either has never read it, doesn't understand it, or is just lying to you. Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion, and the fit for this video is Daredevil. And slavery is not only condoned from beginning to end in the Bible, but is explicitly endorsed in parts of it. Probably the most explicit part is Leviticus 25 verses 44 through 46. Now in this chapter, Leviticus is laying out two different systems of slavery. One for native Israelites, and that's debt slavery. And in Leviticus, it is presented in a unique way because debt slaves serve for 49 years rather than the 6 years of Exodus 21 and Deuteronomy 15. And you're supposed to treat your Israelite debt slave kindly. But then we get to verses 44 through 46, where it talks about the chattel slavery that is reserved for non-Israelites, where it says, you will purchase your slaves from the nations around you, from the foreigners and their families that are living among you. You can buy them, you can pass them on as inheritance. They will be your achuzah, your property forever. And then at the very end, it says, but you're not to treat your native Israelite debt slaves harshly or violently like you can your chattel slaves. This is an explicit endorsement of chattel slavery. This is not voluntary. This is not a means of working off debt. This is not a way of preventing captives from mustering a rebellion. This is just chattel slavery, and it is explicitly endorsed ostensibly by God in these passages.
As a professor of logic and someone who studies the biblical text extensively, I need to be very careful with how I articulate my response to his claims. Leviticus 25 does allow permanent foreign servitude, but he is conflating two terms, race-based chattel slavery and the term slavery. We can also add the term servitude into that domain. Leviticus 25 does allow permanent foreign servitude, but it does not resemble American race-based chattel slavery at all. So I wonder where they got it from. Because here's what the text says. Exodus chapter 21, verse 26 to 27. It says that if a master destroys a servant's eye, notice the word servant, or knocks out a tooth, the servant goes free. What does that mean, Professor? It means permanent injury equaled immediate emancipation. Now compare that to American race-based chattel slavery by European Americans. I'll help you. In 1705, Virginia's slave code allowed masters to inflict corporal punishment and stated that if a slave died during the correction, it was not considered a felony crime. Sounds unbiblical to me. Moreover, in 1740, South Carolina slave code permitted whipping, branding, mutilation, and treated enslaved Hebrews as chattel personnel. Doesn't sound biblical either. Under the Mosaic holy law, mutilation triggered freedom. You got to process that. Under European American law, mutilation was seen as discipline. Those systems are mutually exclusive sets. Let's say, for example, that these European Americans were operating under the Torah law, which they weren't. But if they were, under the law, mass emancipation would have been legally required. But it wasn't. So collapsing Leviticus 25 into American European racial plantation slavery is an anachronism fallacy and historically and legally inaccurate. The regulation under the biblical text in ancient Israel is not the same as race-based, perpetual, brutal, dehumanizing chattel slavery in the Atlantic world. They're mutually exclusive. Stay tuned for part 2. Shalom.